Most men don't realize this, but they're not broken. They're stuck. That's the first thing to understand. Stuck doesn't mean weak. Stuck doesn't mean damage beyond repair. It means movement stopped somewhere along the way. A man can keep aging, keep working, keep providing, keep showing up, and still be standing in the same place internally for 20 years. The years move forward, but the direction doesn't. Something happened. Something ended badly, or never ended at all. Instead of being put down, it got carried. At the same time, it made sense. The anger, the vigilance, the armor. But time passed, and the weight stayed. The strength was always there. It didn't disappear. It got buried. Buried under memory. Buried under habit. Buried under explanation. This is why Anvil and altar exists. Because strength needs two places. The anvil, where it's forged under pressure, and the altar, where it's restrained, ordered, and given meaning. Without both, a man either drifts or hardens into something he never planned to become. Now here's where things get confused. Pain is something that happens to a man. It's not what a man is. That line matters more than people realize. Wounds are events. They're not a character. Some things were done to you that never should have happened. They were wrong. They were damaging. And they were not your doing. You didn't choose them. You didn't cause them. They were imposed. Stoic wisdom draws a hard line here. There is what belongs to you, your choices, your actions, your conduct, and there is what does not. When those two get mixed together, pain stops being something you carry and starts becoming something you are. That's when suffering stops being an experience and turns into an identity. And here's where the mind plays a trick. A lot of men believe suffering must mean something because it was expensive. It cost years. It cost peace. It cost dignity. Sometimes it cost blood. So the mind assumes value. We're trained that expensive things matter, that cost equals worth, but cost does not create value. Pain, by itself, redeems nothing. Suffering alone teaches nothing. Christian ethics are blunt about this. Suffering only matters when it is transformed. Untransformed suffering is not virtue. It's just weight, and weight carried too long bends the spine. You can see it in how a man walks, how he speaks, how quickly he snaps. That's not depth, that's load. So why do men hold on? Because letting go sounds simple, but it doesn't feel safe. Old pain becomes familiar. It explains things. It softens responsibility. This is why I'm like this. This is why I can't. Pain becomes a story that protects a man from the risk of change. Because change demands responsibility, and responsibility removes excuses. But familiarity is not safe. It's just a habit. And habit, left unchecked, becomes a cage built from memory. Now let's talk about the anvil. The anvil doesn't care about fairness. It doesn't negotiate. It just applies pressure. Hard experiences can crush a man or sharpen him. The experience itself doesn't decide that. What decides it is what the man does after. The anvil shapes strength, but it does not choose the form. That choice belongs to the craftsman. Stoicism teaches this clearly. Adversity is a training ground, not a residence. No man is meant to live on the anvil. It forges, then it releases. But forging isn't enough. Strength alone, left unchecked, turns sour. It becomes resentment, or bitterness, or cruelty. This is where the altar matters. The altar is where strength is laid down under discipline. Christian ethics speak plainly here. Power is real, but power is submitted. A strong man chooses restraint, not because he's weak, but because he is capable. That's where strength gains direction. Now the past. The past feels heavy because it feels real, but it has no hands, no breath, no weight. It exists only when summoned. The past isn't getting better. It never will. Memory has a purpose, but it was never meant to rule the present. Wisdom is knowing when remembrance becomes poison. Pain becomes suffering when it is rehearsed, played again and again and again. Men sharpen old wounds without noticing, through thought, through repetition, through private narration. Stoicism reminds us that thoughts are actions of the mind. What you rehearse, you strengthen. Discipline doesn't start with force. It starts with attention. Pain burns while it is held. Release isn't denial. It's mastery. Letting go isn't emotional. It's training. Stillness teaches it. Prayer teaches it. Silence teaches it. The mind resists at first, then it learns. Once trained, it obeys. Some men are trapped by memory. Others are trapped by imagination. They suffer today for things that haven't happened and may never happen. Fear trains strength before it's needed. Christian ethics remind us tomorrow isn't owned yet. Stoicism reminds us to act well now. The present is where strength is exercised, not yesterday, not tomorrow. The brain is a tool, powerful, but obedient. Like a hammer, it doesn't care what it strikes. It will destroy or build without complaint. An undisciplined mind rules the man. A disciplined mind serves him. Discipline isn't suppression, it's direction. And then there's the moment that matters most. It's quiet, undramatic, no audience. A line gets drawn. This ends here. No speeches, no explanations. Responsibility begins when explanation ends. Strength steps forward when excuses step back. You are not your wounds. What happened shaped you, but it does not own you. Strength was forged. Restraint gives it meaning. Carry forward only what serves the future. Leave the rest on the ground. That's how a man walks forward. Steady, upright, free.